Busy week continues this weekend for the Chattanooga Red Wolves and for Madison FC. And today's match presented by Transcard. Madison coming all the way down to Chattanooga, Tennessee to see if they can continue their excellent run, including their Open Cup match. 4 matches unbeaten for the Flamingos. On the other side, Chattanooga trying to break away from a rough stretch. Haven't scored a goal in their last 3 matches, including that 3-0 loss to Tormenta 2 on midweek. I'm Chris Makoviak here, bringing you the action from David Stanton Field as we take a look at Chattanooga from last week. And a great result in terms of defensive effort for the Red Wolves. 0-0 was that scoreline at Orlando City B. An excellent showing for this defense, including Alex Mangles once again in between the pipes. Overall, Tim Hankinson calling it an excellent effort against Orlando. He thought it was enough for the victory, and it was really the first time he was pleased with a road performance this season, entering this matchup where they did get a point out of it on the road. They were 0-3 on the road this season, so a big point at that for the Red Wolves, and obviously they'll be looking to get back to that 2-0 record at home in today's affair. Forward Madison FC on the other side, of course, still in Open Cup play. They'll have a big match coming up this week, but in the meantime, this weekend, they'll be looking to get back at that offensive effort that we saw them have against Toronto FC2. That man there, Don Smart, Player of the Week in USL League One, and man, he came out flying with a few goals on the day, and I should say a few assists on the day and helping out with the goal of his own. But you see him developing the plays from the wings, and that's really a focus for Tim Hankinson and the Red Wolves as they enter today's match. And that's something to watch for, those wing players out there for the Flamingos as they look for the 3 points on the road today. Daryl Shore saying very happy, of course, with that result and looking to keep that undefeated run going. As we await kickoff here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, lineups coming up along with that first kickoff. Red Wolves looking to break their recent stride and get 3 points again at home, right back in the League One table. Welcome back here to David Stanton Field. Again, I'm Chris Makovic, bringing you the action here from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Again, today's match brought to you by Transcard as we get set for the initial kickoff and take a look at our starting lineup, starting with the home side, Chattanooga. And Chattanooga, a few switches overall for their typical starting lineup. One really noticeable is moving up from the holding midfield spot is Connor Doyle, and for those familiar with the MLS, he's a player who was at the top of many formations, including DC United for 3 years, where he got some great chances up there. So moving into more of that striker role in today's affair after he started more as a deeper central midfielder for the Red Wolves. Also in there, you'll see some changes on the back line, most notably Colin Falvey coming in, maybe to add some more leadership at the back, considering the result midweek and really stabilize things at the back. That's what Tim Hankinson said this week in our phone call with him, and hopefully try to rally the troops as they move ahead on the field, and the ability maybe to press up at home, definitely something to keep in mind with the Red Wolves this season. On the other side, forward Madison, a lot of the similar faces we've seen all season out there. Silvestri gets the start in the goalie spot for the first time in League One play this season after the clean sheet he had midweek in the win over Bavarian SC in the U.S. Open Cup. Other than that, typical starting 11, and of course, you'll see the name there, the big name, J.C. Banks, coming back to the starting 11 after the unfortunate passing of his father, Jimmy Banks. So definitely, I'm sure, playing in his father's honor today, as he will be the rest of the season, rest of his career at that for the Flamingos. As mentioned before, Forward Madison coming on the road today, second time this season already. They're playing in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Last time a 1-0 result that a lot of people around League One saying after that one it was the first matchup in League One history for Forward Madison. Really, they look like the better team out there, but it was a piece of beauty on that volleyed shot by Zayed that ended up making the difference in the second half of that game. Charlie, a health injury report. Richard Dixon, the lone player listed out for today's match. Of course, you didn't see him in that starting lineup. Back line, a key figure to get down the field for Chattanooga, but won't be with us here today. As we get set for our opening kickoff, J.C. Banks standing over the ball, ready to send it off. The Flamingos coming in 4 unbeaten, including that Open Cup victory midweek. Chattanooga hasn't scored a goal in the last 2 matches of League One play. Of course, looking to stop that here today. They're 2-0 at home, and maybe that's the key to end things in that category. Up and out of play, early throw-in for Zaguro. As we're underway here in Chattanooga, I'm Chris McKoviak bringing you the action here on ESPN+. 2 teams really in the middle of the pack of League One in front of us today. And if you look at that table, many teams, to say the least, at 7 points as teams try to figure things out in the first 2 months of this early campaign. It'll be Chattanooga early on dictating things. Beatty takes it in. He'll knock it back over. Tied for second in the league with 3 goals. Out of play, throwing coming for Diaz and the Flamingos. That high press for Chattanooga, that's certainly what they like to do this season. But it's something that Coach Hankinson really made a point of talking about this week with us. He said on the road he's seen sort of a fake press with this team, and he wants more rhythm with it. And he says that's really the style that where you have success with it is when the team that you're opposing doesn't expect it at the end of the day. And that's something they've been working on, trying to get that press back in order so they can steal the ball like we saw in the start so far today. Flamingos moving it all the way back. And for the flock, maybe watching out at Madison Tap, Madison, Wisconsin. Ball sent in and bounces through and stayed in play somehow for Chattanooga. Headed on, Connor Doyle the header, and that's a goal. Connor Doyle, his first start at the striker position, up there with the 3-forward combo, and he has a header in for a goal. Finding that scorer's touch from his MLS days. And just like that, the home side on top. Cross sent in.
Goal.
And stayed in play, and it's that hustle play that got it done. Looking for the offsides flag, didn't end up coming. As a big header going in right there for Connor Doyle. And what a way to start at home for Chattanooga. Hey, I said they didn't get a goal on the board in the last few matches. Well, they silenced me for sure. But the point I was making before that is, for the flock maybe watching across the state of Wisconsin, no need to worry as Silvestri takes this one in. If you're a Ryan Coulter fan, no, he's not injured. He's actually away in his home country of Ireland obtaining a UEFA coaching license, and that's why he's without the team this week. And it's Silvestri instead getting his first start in League One play, and good for Silvestri as he was dealing with an injury in the preseason and to start this season. That's part of why he was kind of taking a step back as we headed into the season, but now between the pipes, and unfortunately giving up that goal early on, a crazy one, as it was knocked back over as we get right back underway here in the 4th minute. Chattanooga averaging less than a goal per game. That's their 7th tally of the season. And we've seen this before from them, an early start like this. Tobin playing it back to Silvestri there. In that win over Tormenta, all 3 of their goals coming in the first 20 minutes, and that was enough to stifle the away side. They only were able to obtain 2 goals in the comeback in the second half. Well, again, if you're just joining us a few minutes in, Connor Doyle the header and the tally. Up and out of play. And now it's up to Madison maybe to respond early on in this first half. They gave up just 1 goal in their last League One game, had a 3-1 win over Toronto, excuse me. Spato Diaz will take the throw-in on the near side. Settled by Nunez. Toy. Can't get it. Walefe getting it out of there, and it's back through the Chattanooga back line. We'll see Fola and Falvey settling into those center back spots. On the right back, it's Tony Walls. And Coach Hankinson says immense versatility, holding midfield, center back, right back, and definitely showing that here today, helping out the squad. And they said they wanted to make that move, get his experience out on the wing, and also just didn't look too comfortable at that center back spot in the last match. But a player they missed for the first 3 matches of the season, serving a suspension from his St. Louis FC days. But adding some professional consistency is the way Coach Hankinson put it. And a real leader by example for the squad out there. Walls is the one looking for the throw in here. He sends it in. Beatty backs away from Diaz. Cross sent in and puts a dangerous one in there. Dealt well by Almsberg, and it's a corner kick for the home side, up 1-0 here in the 6th. Madison's defense has been strong through 5 matches, that is. Unfortunately, giving up that early tally, but a .8 GAA before that. Chattanooga, this side, only averaging 2.3 shots on goal per game. Of course, 1 for 1 in that category so far. Sent in, volleyed at the goal, but a save by Silvestre. They'll bring it in, looking to calm the troops out there. Eric Leonard, the defensive midfielder for this formation, he'll send it up ahead. Banks, left flank now. Here's Smart, player of the week in USL League One. No call there. As it's back on the break for Chattanooga. Beatty wide open on this right flank. Irishman sending it in for Zayed, but can't get there in time. One hops out of play. A goal kick coming for Silvestre. Forward Madison 1-2 on the road this season. Chattanooga 2-0 at home. Flamingos a rough start to the season, going 0 for 2 on the road. Inaugural match, losing to Chattanooga back on April 6th, and then losing another tight one on a penalty kick in the 94th against North Texas SC. A North Texas SC squad who has been fantastic. With another win here today, come from behind, down 1-0 against Orlando City B at home, and then scoring 4 goals. Nunez, a chance from far out, but that'll sail wide. But North Texas SC rising high over the table. They're at 15 points now. Next closest team is Tormenta at 11 points. And they've played quite a few matches, 6 of them to be exact. Still 4 points down. Tormenta will be a Sunday affair for them against Toronto.
Yeah, because I'm not real sure how to do that. This is one of those small.
It should be a fun one on Mother's Day. Free admission for all the mothers out there going to the Tormenta game. Great promotion for that matchup. Doyle sending it on back to Zagura, and certainly a goal early on in this one. Red Wolves can settle in a bit. And what a way for them to start after a tough week, midweek I should say. That 3-0 loss to Tormenta 2 really standing out as they went on the road, as that one goes out of play. But really, Coach Hankinson putting it this way, it's a lesson. It's not really a new lesson for them. It's a reminder. And funny enough, ahead of that match against Tormenta 2, the team came together. They watched the Liverpool-Barcelona matchup and that comeback, and they talked about the emotions Barcelona went through in that one, playing a quote-unquote underdog entering that match and how to deal with it. And they had the same exact thing sort of happen to them. And they said they just didn't match the competitiveness of Tormenta at the end of the day. Here's Moulin. They'll work it on wide and some open room to work with. Here's Falvey, working his way into the starting 11 today. Former Charleston Battery captain. Through there, handled by Almsberg, and there's Diaz to help out. Manley down the right flank, he'll hold it up. Out of play, and it'll be a throw-in on the far side for forward Madison. Madison on the other side, though, they got their win in Open Cup play. 2-0 over Milwaukee Bavarian SC, the amateur champions here in the U.S. And for head coach Darryl Shore, he's all too familiar with the Open Cup. 3 times when he was with Chicago Fire as a coach, they won the cup. Fellow Jr. sends it through, no one there except Fola, and he'll clear it the other way. But he said, really, there's a lot of pressure if you're that League One club in the Open Cup, and we saw that in a lot of circumstances. He said it's tough to live up to that League One name, that professional name, especially when you're playing some of these amateur clubs. And at the end of the day, you have to remember, stick to what you're doing, and that you're the professionals out there. This is what you do on a daily basis, and just take care of business. Certainly they did that with that 2-0 result. Pello Jr. losing it inside the box as he penetrated there, and Moulin will send it back. Coach Hankinson saying their real focus with this Chattanooga team, the wing play from Smart and Paulo Jr. And certainly if you've watched any Madison football this season, you can tell that out there. They like to take it on the wings to the end line and send it in and work from there. On the other side for Madison, Coach Shore saying wherever Zayed and Beatty are, we certainly have to keep our marks there. Smart takes it in. He'll work it centrally. Banks there. Nunez. A little back heel to Leonard. Madison trying to stretch out their opponents a bit here, as Almsberg, the Minnesota United loanee, will take it in. That first matchup this season between these two, 11 shots to 4. Madison won that category. They also dictated possession pretty well in that match, 66% overall. Unfortunately not able to get that winning tally. That was Chattanooga. And I remember talking to Coach Shore after that first result of the season, and he said it was really a piece of brilliance by Zayed. There was nothing much they could do about it, and that's the truth. As anybody that saw that goal saw Dane St. Clair diving for it, but really on that angle and that kind of volley, not much you can do if you're the keeper. As Beatty beats this downfield. Early, neither of these teams want the ball. Foul will be called on Diaz, though, and that will give it to Chattanooga as Moulin takes it in. There's Tony Walls working away from the play. As I mentioned, Chattanooga 2-0 at home this season. 3-2 win over Tormenta and that 1-0 win against Madison. No foul there as Leonard takes over. Coach Hankinson saying really he thinks it has to do with playing surface. They're so used to it and the way the ball rolls, the way it falls, that it really helps them out at home. Of course, getting some energy from the Scenic City Alphas and the home crowd, staying in your home confines helps as well. Nunez. Combo play with Toy, the Minnesota United loanee. Smart back down, and he'll work it around the back. Don Smart, 2 assists, 1 goal. Last week against Toronto FC 2. No foul there as Chattanooga gets it back. Beautiful footwork there by Walefe. Headed out of play, safely there by Tobin. Ball's long throwing, trying to catch them looking. Is brought down by Beatty. Zayed couldn't get to it, and now it's back to Nunez. Manley, former Duke player. And pretty much the same story as that first matchup. Early on, it's all Madison possession other than that goal. Banks brought down on the heavy contact from Walefe. And that'll be a foul and maybe a chance for Madison to get this ball into the opposite box. Banks going down. Milwaukee native, and heavy shoulder contact there. As Banks will just play it back, though. Tobin and Silvestri both don't want it, but then finally batted downfield. Justed in by Diaz, but I'll go right back to Moulin. Beatty. Nice footwork by him, stolen by Leonard. He goes down, and a foul called against Beatty. And his slide tackle there, and that a pretty clear yellow card at that. And Beatty in the books already here in the 16th minute. That's his third of the season. And his 7 starts now.
The official yellow card is presented by Kapperman, White, and McGarvey Eye Care.
Leonard drawing that one.
Foul vision.
Referee for today's match, Amin Hadzik. There's a late tackle there, kind of just stuck his right side into the ground to try and deflect it away from Leonard. We'll take it in. Of course, it'll be a long week here, maybe a couple weeks for Madison. Make this road trip. Then they'll be traveling all the way down back to Texas. It's El Paso Locomotive. That'll be their next date in the U.S. Open Cup second round. Midweek, and then next week, a big matchup at home against one of the favorites so far in League One play, South Georgia Tormenta FC. Ball sent ahead. Paulo Jr. there, right side, takes the shot, deflected away by Fola. Banks goes down on the end of that one. Beatty trying to break away. Soto plays it ahead to Beatty. Beautiful pass there. Tobin slides in there and he bats it out. Great defense there from the center back. The Fort Collins, Colorado native with a big stop there as Beatty is on the end of that through ball. Chattanooga trying the left flank now. Sends it in there and saved by Silvestri. The rebound out there, but it will be cleared in the end. Manley trying to help it along and finally does. What a chance on that sharp angle by Chattanooga. They're feeling it early on here at home. Play will pause here. Referee having a word with someone. Take a look at this previous chance. Silvestri, his second save today. Zagura, the left back, sending it in there. Maybe it crossed his eye yet and a little bit too far. But nonetheless, that was right on target. The Albanian almost putting Chattanooga up 2-0. Nunez plays it left flank, brought down by Walls. He'll flick it ahead. Beatty to Walls, and he'll play it around. 19th minute of action here from Chattanooga, Tennessee. The Red Wolves up 1-0 on the goal by Doyle. Just a few minutes in, a header right in the middle of the box. Brought down there, late contact from Smart, I believe. No card being shown, and it will be a foul, giving the ball back to the home side. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL League One and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Out of play, throwing on the near side for Tony Walls. Long one centrally. Walefe on the end of this one will work it to the left flank. Ziguro is there. Doyle gets it back. Soto. Work it around the back. Two shots on goal. Mentioned before, they're averaging 2.3 per game. Soto. Walls. Moulin. Compact defense there from Madison, holding them back from taking it up the wing. Walefe cuts inside, late challenge by Banks, and I'd be surprised if that's not a booking. And indeed it is. J.C. Banks into the books today. As it was the Brazilian Walefe turning the corner and going down there, the 25-year-old drawing the foul. Take another look at this one. Pretty late tackle there from Banks. His second of the season. And a dangerous free kick here that they can get inside the box if they choose to do so. Ziguro, he's going to walk away from this one. Ball sent into the box, headed away in the end. Moulin keeps the attack going with the header. Leonard back the other way. Diaz sends it over to Junior. Late contact, no call. Advantage was played, but it'll be brought back now. Free kick for the Flamingos. Junior has a quick restart back with the defense. And I have to say, if you haven't seen the short, really documentary about the Flamingos and their movement, the starting of the club, now available on any social media with the USL League One name, you can get to that video. Check it out. And what it means to be a Flamingo. And one thing, if you watched any Madison home games so far, you have to be impressed with the flock and their turnout. An amazing atmosphere. And I'm sure Daryl Shore enjoyed a little bit more in that second home match, not the one against Greenville where it was snowing the entire time. And he said he did too. He enjoyed not having to wear snow boots the entire match. And of course, you're going to enjoy it a bit more when you get the 3 points. 3-1 victory against Toronto FC2 in the last home match. Ball sent in by Walls, deflected away by Diaz. Moulin gets under this one. He'll try the opposite flank. Manley goes down, and a foul is called there on the shoulder-to-shoulder contact here in the 24th. It'll be Silvestri to take it. Former Philadelphia Union goalkeeper. Back in 2015, had 5 clean sheets for the Union. Of course, known for his time with North Carolina FC. He was a backup for LA Galaxy last season. Getting his first start in League One play this time around. I did ask ahead of this match, not knowing that Ryan Coulter was going to be unavailable until being told by Daryl Shore that he's away getting a coaching license. That really is his job, but he's a player coach, and they've been riding the hot hand in goal with him, and he's also the save of the week. Recently voted that online at USLLeague1.com. Really, how does a coach evaluate himself? I asked Daryl Shore, and he said probably one of the people that's hardest on Ryan Coulter about his play is Ryan Coulter. He still films himself. He films all the goalkeepers and goes through it. And Coach Shore saying he's still certainly working on the coaching part, something still relatively new to him in the last few years, but he still has that fire to be a player on the field, and certainly we've seen that so far here in League One play. Silvestri, hey, he's getting a chance here maybe to showcase himself, that why he should be in the starting 11. So far, giving up a goal in this game early on. To Connor Doyle. Banks, deflection there, it's over to Diaz. We haven't really seen Madison so far threaten in the final third. Toy out wide. Manley. Nunez. Deflected out of play by Doyle. It's a throw in for the Flamingos. The packed table in League One. Many of the teams, 6 of them to be exact, playing right now with 7 p.m. starts on the East Coast. A fun weekend in League One for sure. Richmond hosting FC Tucson right now, also Lansing hosting Greenville. And of course, North Texas SC earlier this afternoon getting a 4-1 victory over Orlando City B. Tomorrow it'll be Tormenta hosting Toronto FC 2. Maybe some room here to work for Toy and the Madison side as it's Nunez that knocks it out wide. Manley taking in, deflection, but Mangles, he'll get his first touch. Picking that one up, and he'll look down the field. Mangles, the Lafayette, California native, spent last season with Portland Timbers 2, and certainly has had a great campaign so far, 2 clean sheets to his name. And named the team of the week back in week 2. Banks right to Walefe, and he'll take it in. The Brazilian looking to his right side, there's Walls. Walls, a Milwaukee native himself. Playing against, I guess you could say, his, what would be his hometown side if he was back in his home state. Walls with a throw in the final third. Looking for some help. He'll finally send it in. Beatty has a good angle at this one. Tries to volley it up. Did it go out of play? No, it did not. Back to the top of the box for Chattanooga. Ziguro flies into this one. Deflected down. Nunez back with it. A second chance, Ziguro. But a foul is called on the back end. He had a little bit of a late touch against Nunez and a free kick. But what a powerful strike by Ziguro there that hit a defender. And it's always dangerous when the ball is just floating out there, shipped to the weak side of the field. He almost took advantage of it here in the 29th. And so far, so good for this Chattanooga defense. They're not letting Madison advance down the field. Foul called against Madison. Colin Falvey getting set to take it quickly. He will indeed. Soto takes it in. Boy, brilliant pressure there, almost catching the pass. Falvey gets the deflection. And a throw-in coming for the Red Wolves. So far, 2 shots for Madison, 3 for Chattanooga. All 3 of those, though, target. Up ahead, run by Banks. There's Walls, though. And a goal kick in the end for Mangles. Fans follow Chattanooga Red Wolves SC and Forward Madison, and of course, the rest of USL League One all season long on ESPN+. Home to the USL, MLS, UFC, Open Cup, and much more. Join the over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN+ and watch League One live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. And of course, more League One action coming tomorrow with Toronto and Tormenta. And of course, the Open Cup action coming on Tuesday and Wednesday as the USL Championship teams get into the mix in round 2. Forward Madison traveling on down to El Paso Locomotive, and that's a pretty fun match of 2 teams in their first seasons of league play and of course Open Cup play. A few League One teams will be in action. We'll go through that coming up at halftime and take a look back on the Tuesday and Wednesday matchups we saw from 6 League One teams. The only League One battle that was, a League One battle in the Open Cup in that first round was Tormenta and Greenville. Greenville getting the home win 1-0 that got them back from their scoreless streak. Through ball up ahead, but out of play. Wall's not getting to that one. He's stretching out there, maybe feeling a cramp. As Diaz will take the throw in here in the 32nd. Diaz having to make a good journey back there. Out of play, and pretty easy job there for Chattanooga to get that throw in. Doyle will give it off to Walls, and they'll have a chance here to put this in the box. Walefe loses it to Smart, though. The break a chance. No, Falvey gets it right back. Ziguro goes into this one, sends it. Silvestri knocks it down past Doyle, cleared up by Diaz. He'll head it back to the top of the box. Back in by Moulin. Quick turn and tipped away. Corner kick coming for Chattanooga, and Silvestri very animated. Saying to his defense, where are you guys? As Ziguro again getting a shot off from far out. And what a beauty at that. And if that deflection is just a little bit lower, Connor Doyle has the same exact goal look as he had in his first goal tally. Silvestri 2 straight saves there to get it done. Corner sent in, headed away by Leonard. That'll do it for now and give Madison some room to breathe. But Chattanooga taking it to the Flamingos so far, as that goes out of play for a throw-in. Newland sends it up, but the volley goes out of play, but certainly Chattanooga has to feel good after that string of shots. Silvestri, have to think he might be up for save of the week with that one. Not only a very accurate shot by Ziguro, but also, if you're the goalkeeper there, you have to really get a good fist on that one. A lot of power behind it. As we send this into the night here in Chattanooga. Diaz gets it back. Nice little run by Banks. He didn't see it there, though. Nunez almost losing it. Getting through traffic. Good footwork from him. Leonard will knock it on back to the back line. Loses it, though. Beatty. Little through ball ahead. Knocked on back by Almsberg and keeps it away from Zayed. Malmsberg out all the way on the right flank. Leonard takes it in. Nunez will bat this down the left flank. Beautiful ball over to Diaz. Little flick up. He'll keep it. Across the right flank. Manley on the run. He'll have a go there into the box and headed just over and out of play. J.C. Banks there with a chance. And they're going to say a deflection occurred on that one. Corner kick. Madison. Player down, though, for Chattanooga. And it looks like Fola. Taking another look at this one. Manley on the one touch and headed wide. Corner kick. Fola still down. Making his 6th start of the season. 24-year-old out of New York. Familiar with the USL, played in League 2 with FA Euro New York, 39 appearances over 3 years. They didn't want to have to bring the trainer on there because that would mean a center back off for this corner kick. Don Smart, J.C. Banks. It'll be Smart that takes it into the box and grabbed out of the air by Mangles. And Chattanooga standing tall once again like they did through 20 shots given up to Orlando City B last week. Knocked on, Chattanooga threatening. Soto, through ball. But offsides there called on the forward for Chattanooga. Zayed trying to make the run. Quickly taken by Diaz. 5 shots on target already for Chattanooga here today, 37th minute. It looks like Doyle settling back a bit more into the formation. Madison down the right flank. Take it down and a foul called, edge of the box. Yellow card issued. Is this the time to strike for Madison? Ziguro into the books, taking down Paulo Jr. And for Ziguro, his 3rd yellow card of the season. Take another look at this one. Pretty clear foul from behind. As Paulo cut just in time in front of the ball. Nunez will look to take this one. We know he can put him in there. Maybe we'll even look for a shot here. A little bit of a sharp angle, though. Nunez, a goal this season for the Panamanian. He's played both in Panama and Venezuela professionally. Sends it in there, looking for a header. Gets it up there. And cleared by Chattanooga. Nunez. Sweeps it into the box, but only one there is Walls. And it's cleared by Moulin. Doyle thought he got a touch to it. He did from a Madison player. A throw-in coming from the near side. Daryl Shore standing right there. Madison headman. Former member of both the Chicago Fire and Real Salt Lake organizations. Out of play, throw in back to Madison. Madison so far 53% of possession. pretty even overall. It seemed like it was heavily towards Madison early on. And a free kick just like that. A little shove off there as the ball came in. 40th minute, Madison looking for the equalizer just before the half. That's what Toronto FC2 did to them last week to get some momentum back. Nunez, left flank. Diaz will settle it. He'll look for the cross. He sends it in there, headed up and away. Zayed helps it along. Leonard, over the top, beautiful ball there from Leonard. Manley. Cleared back, out of play, throw in now for Madison. Threatening still here in the 41st. Manley will take it. Almsberg, Tobin. Diaz, Banks. Flicks it in there. Smart is there, heads it down. Not sure where that was going, but nonetheless an offsides flag against Smart, and putting up his hands there saying, my fault, guys. And the ball back to Chattanooga. It'll be the Red Wolves to get it out of there, out of danger at that. Coach Darryl Shore told me against Toronto, really, he wanted his team to take it to them early on. Certainly they did that with an early goal. But here, not really the case. It was Chattanooga taking it to Madison. Ball over the top, Smart on the run, but this will be grabbed by Mangles. With a back step there, a little bit awkwardly. Toy, Leonard, now Diaz, left side. Kind of a weird pass there, and it gives it right back up to the Red Wolves. Soto, Walefe, the Brazilian looking to his left just to stabilize the formation, and he'll work it on back. Neither team wants the ball right now. Handball called there against Toy, and it's back to Chattanooga. Coming up at halftime, we'll take a look around the U.S. Open Cup circuit from midweek. Tuesday and Wednesday action for 6 League One clubs. Stay tuned for that. Of course, looking around the league, news and notes, of course, with the Team of the Week and Power Rankings. All coming up at halftime in just a few minutes. It's out of play, and Chattanooga will certainly move the troops up here. Manley thought they had the throw in, but instead it will go back to the Red Wolves. Segura will take it. Almost getting the insurance goal earlier on in this match with that heavy strike from outside the box. A brilliant save by Silvestri. Quick restart here by Madison. Walefe. Walls. Brought down there on the late tackle by Paulo Jr. A little bit of a late touch there on Beatty as he turned back for the ball. And a quick restart by the Red Wolves, but a mistake with that one. Nunez. Tobin working the left flank. Here's Banks. Fallow Jr. brought down, and this a chance into the box maybe for Madison. It was Falvey with the foul there. Quickly taken by Nunez. Diaz loses it though and out of play. 2 minutes of stoppage time coming up. Madison looking to strike before the half. Fallow Jr. sends it centrally. Smart the strike anywhere else, and that would have been a beauty. But it's right into the arms of Mangles, right where he stood. Take another look at this one. And a quick, sharp turnaround. Mangles lucky enough to be right there. So far, Connor Doyle, that strike the only goal so far across these 7 p.m. Eastern Time starts across League One. Lansing, Greenville, Richmond. As a yellow card has been issued to Tony Walls.
Yellow card issued to number 20, Tony Walls. The official yellow card is presented by Kapperman, White, and McGarvey Eye Care. We fix foul vision.
His first of the season. Out of play, and it stays right where it is. Maybe the last chance here for the Red Wolves to get something before the break. Sure, they're content with their 1-0 scoreline, though, at least for now. But Soto will work it out wide. Ziguro takes it in, cuts inside, looking for a strike, maybe puts it across. Knocked away in the end. Falvey taking a step up. Out of play off Diaz. And there it is, the halftime whistle. 1-0 Chattanooga at the break. It's Connor Doyle just a few minutes into the match with a header. And what a beauty that was, and it gets Chattanooga off their scoreless stride. And they lead at home 1-0 over Forward Madison. The Flamingos look going back to the drawing board here at halftime as they got better and better, more comfortable as the first half went on. As we hit the break here on ESPN Plus, we'll come back with more coverage of this match and, of course, more coverage of the U.S. Open Cup from this past week. Madison, Wisconsin. There's the chance here, but that's the real effort on the end line, and Doyle makes it count. His first start back in the forward position for Chattanooga this season, and he has a goal to his name. And that offering some momentum early on with that press for Chattanooga. But the problem for them, the second half. Can they hold back the comeback from Madison? We'll see coming up after halftime. 0-0 here at David Stanton Field at the break. Today's match presented by Transcard. Now we'll take a look back at the week that was in the U.S. Open Cup with 6 League One teams in action.
Into the mix, and it's in the back of the net. The ball back. Cross it to the 6, and it just rolls in. I don't even think Boateng got a touch on it. Looks to just shadow them, keep it on the right side. He's not the player you want. Lucky. Going in, he cuts it to the near post. Marcus Johnson.
Unfortunately, Chattanooga, not one of those teams that are going to be moving on to the second round of the U.S. Open Cup, but of course, a great schedule of matchups coming up for Chattanooga in USL League One. Next week, they'll take the long journey out to FC Tucson to battle a 10:30 start time here on the East Coast for them against Tucson before they go back home again to David Stanton Field when they host Greenville and Toronto FC2. Kind of a regional rivalry maybe blooming with Greenville, so we'll see if they can get a result out of that one after losing 1-0 previously to Greenville when they were at Legacy Early College earlier this season in April. On the other side, Forward Madison FC, they'll be hosting one of the favorites early on in the season in Tormenta FC coming up at 8 p.m. next week. And that, of course, 7 p.m. Central Time in Forward Madison. Another matchup coming up against a familiar opponent in North Texas SC, also on May 22nd, making the journey out to Dallas. Coming up, we'll take a look at the week that was across the USL Championship and League One.
Man, I'm going to tell you, I think it's freaking awesome. For lack of a better word, it's awesome.
We'd like to formally welcome you to League One for 2020.
We are proud to be the stewards and caretakers of the world's game and the Big O for all the fans. And it starts today, right now.
We, together, collaboratively, can make such a huge positive impact on the community. Together.
You know, you close most deals and you sit at your desk or maybe have a closing dinner. I get to celebrate with 200 people with cheers, so it's awesome.
Breaking in, Kasim! Oh, what a save by Matt Pickens! Got a run from distance, and it's a goal! Travels with the left and in. And what a save for Van Ogle.
Here's a chance for Castillo, who puts it in! As we continue halftime here on ESPN Plus, take a look at news and notes from around the league. Of course, Open Cup action underway this past Tuesday and Wednesday. In League One, though, keep an eye out for the Richmond Kickers. Right now, 0-0 at the half with FC Tucson, but they are surging all the way up now to third in the table for League One at 8 points, 2-2-2. And of course, North Texas SC, fantastic to start the season. Player of the week, Don Smart. He also features in the team of the week, along with his sidekick on the other winger, Paulo Jr., of course. And a five-man back line. Have to like that on Team of the Week. The defenders getting some love as League One each week, of course, on USLLeague1.com, releasing their Team of the Week. And, of course, their power rankings also coming out every Monday on USLLeague1.com. Not too surprising, North Texas and Tormenta, I believe, have been 1 and 2, switched or not, at the top of the power rankings since their inception. Richmond Kickers, though, there they are, number 3 overall. And for Madison fans, reason to celebrate. You're up to number 4, and certainly the play has dictated that, looking for that comeback in the second half now. Looking around the scoreboard in League One, the schedule now. Getting to the scoreboard in a second. As I mentioned, great Mother's Day action coming up tomorrow, 7 p.m. Tormenta hosting Toronto FC2. And of course, a great slate of action coming up next weekend with all the teams in action, including that Friday night matchup, Toronto FC2 and Orlando City B in action in that one. As we take a look at the scoreboard from around the league right now, a little bit of ahead of it there a moment ago, but there it is. North Texas SC up 4-1 on Orlando City B. That a final. And North Texas at 15 points on the table, surging ahead 4 points above Tormenta in the second spot. 0-0 in the other two matchups going on right now. Chattanooga, though, they're up 1-0 at home. We'll see if they can hold on to that against Fort Madison coming up after this. Welcome back here into David Stanton Field in Chattanooga, Tennessee. The home side, the Red Wolves, they're up 1-0, and that came in just a few moments of the game as we head into our first half highlights. Forward Madison really dictated possession throughout that first half, but it was the Red Wolves that got things going early on with some great hustle play towards the end line to keep the ball alive inside the box. Connor Doyle got the start at forward today. His first start at that position this season. He's been a holding midfielder since then, but there's the header back across, and he got the early tally. The Flamingos, they wanted the offsides call, but nothing came, and that's all hustle there, heading towards the end line and volleying it back and getting a touch on it in the end. It was Soto there working the ball back as Doyle gets his first of the season on the board and putting the Red Wolves up 1-0, and they really had things steady at the back from there and continued that press forward. Some good stops from the back line of Madison kept them in check. Zaguro, though, maybe had some of the best chances of that first half with his long ball shots from far out, as Beatty also got in on the action, but Zaguro had a rocket of a shot a few times in that first half. Two there, but of course the foul bringing that one back. This was the key one, and Silvestri getting the save and just a few inches above the striker's head there. And that was Zayed initially that almost got the second touch, and then it was Beatty. Manley and from the right flank and a header in. That one of the better chances of the first half. And that's probably the best chance, but Smart putting it right on the goalkeeper's arms where Mangles made the save. Overall, there's the key stat for you. Shots on target, 5 of the 6 total for Chattanooga. They've been very efficient, but most of those happening in the first half of the first half. Since then, it's been mostly Madison building forward, getting more possession under the belt, looking for chances. And certainly, Madison, they have some positives to build off of that first half, but they'll be looking to create a bit more as they move into the second half. And for this game, Coach Hankinson did tell me his main focus was shutting down the wingers of Madison. I feel like he's done that so far. He's allowed them to penetrate centrally at the top of the box, but not so much on the wings towards the end line like they like to do and play the ball back over. As it looks like Madison might be making a sub at the break. We'll have to get confirmation on that. Michaud looks like he's out onto the field, and indeed he is. Number 8 out there for Madison. He coming on at the break, an attacking midfielder looking to add some juice maybe out there for Madison. He's a player that has started plenty of times this season for Madison, 4 to be exact. Now coming off the bench for the second time this season. Something to keep in mind, Banks, he's a very versatile player. Used to be a purely forward out there position-wise, but certainly with Madison, he's played a little bit deeper in the formation, and that I asked Coach Shore about that ahead of the North Texas game a few weeks ago back in early April, and he said that's really due to his experience. He can survey the field very well, help out his team, and really sacrifice for the good of the team overall. Won't see as many goals himself, but we'll certainly see more from his teammates, and that's, of course, what matters here. Ball over the top, Chattanooga threatening. I have to confirm this, but it looks like Leonard is the one that makes way, and J.C. Banks works into that defensive holding midfield role. As it's Michaud and right by his side, Nunez. As Chattanooga works it out of the back. Right flank now, Chattanooga. Ball sent left flank. Zagura cuts inside. Bottled up there with the traffic, and it's moved on up. Smart, right flank. Manley overlapping run towards the box, setting up for the cross, puts it in there, a low one, stopped in its tracks and chipped away. Nunez a chance, but rolls right into the arms of Mangles. The clean sheet stays steady for now. Take another look at this one. Chance from far out, and it's not getting enough power on that one and height. But Madison with their substitute, looking to change things up in the midfield and maybe a more attacking approach. That's certainly what it says on paper. So remember Madison, they were at home, but they did score 2 goals in the second half against Toronto FC 2. Smart, right flank. Cuts it back inside centrally. Nunez stepping up, but a little bit too heavy of a touch, and it goes off him. Throw-in coming for Chattanooga. As Zigura will take it, but it looks like Madison bringing some pressure up here, looking to get the ball right back. Zigura. Headed up and out of play. Off of Zayed as Almsberg saying, help me, where's the ball? Ball sent through the back line. But today's matches, they take on really unique importance. If you haven't checked out the League One table, really check it out. The bottleneck right now, early on in this season, there are currently 6 teams at 7 points in League One, and I'm not making that up. 6 teams at the same point total, and there's 10 teams in the league, and 2 of them right in front of us today. This could go a long way if one of these teams can get 3 points by the end of this match. And of course, Chattanooga playing 1 more match overall to this point than Ford Madison. Madison and Toronto FC 2, they didn't start league play until week 2. Look back in, headed on, but no one inside the box for Madison, and it'll be easily picked up by Mangle. Chattanooga look like they're pretty content to take their time with this 1-0 lead. They had a few chances at an insurance tally, as we saw in our first half highlights. Knocked through. Soto's going to make a run after this one. Getting it out of there is Almsberg. Manley up the right flank. Still going. Plenty of room to operate. Sends it in. Toy is there, but batted back away. Foul called the opposite way. Banks goes down. Quick restart. Chance from far out, but another dribbler right into the arms of Mangles. Mangles coming into this match 3rd in League One with 18 saves. He's had a few already today. But always not too sure if it's a good thing or a bad thing if your goalkeeper is top 3 in the league in saves. Sign your defense is very active, and that's what Chattanooga was against Orlando City B last week, giving up 20 shots. Madison back on the attack. As Manley plays it back. Madison going to have to obviously fight back in this match, and certainly not something they really wanted to do on the road. With a midweek match coming up against El Paso in the Open Cup, and then next week hosting I should say next weekend, hosting Tormenta. So counting today, May 11th, in the next 11 days, we're going to have 4 matches, including the one in front of us today. Tough stretch for Madison. Ball over the top. Mangles well off his line. Not sure what he's doing. Open goal for now. Chipped in there. Smart's on the back end, off the post and in. That's a goal in the end, an own goal. Chattanooga, just a mishap defensively, and Madison has equalized here in the 54th. And the Chattanooga defense just as shocked as everyone else, but hey, at the end of the day, you put a dangerous ball in, and you might get a good deflection. It's Toy. He won't get the goal tally in the end. But off the post and in. Smart, dangerous there with the run. But the cross well off target. I guess you could consider it a shot. But off and in, and now Chattanooga has to rebound after giving up a goal like that. And if we didn't already, we have a game now. And Madison gets the ball right back just like that. And looking to find another. Nunez, a chance, deflected by Fola, right back to Nunez. He puts it in. 2 straight for Madison on the road. They're up 2-1 in just a matter of seconds. And the Red Wolves just hanging their heads after that. We'll take another look at this one. Another lucky hop off the deflection. Fola stepping up, but no one coming up to stop Nunez. And he slots it home. Nunez, his second of the season. And now, going from 1 down to now a 2-goal comeback. Madison looking pretty on the road. Can the Flamingos keep this unbeaten streak alive? They're at 4 games in all competitions. Will they make it 5? Ball sent through. Ziguro, he has other thoughts. Sends the ball in, but ricocheted away by Diaz. It's out of play. Throw in Red Wolves, far side. Walefi. Ziguro. Cross sent in. Header there on frame. Saved by Silvestri. Back across and in. What is happening in Chattanooga? A 3rd goal in just about 3 minutes. And Silvestri, another brilliant save tonight. But it turns into a goal. Ziguro, the initial service. And Zayed in the end there, but maybe getting a touch from Tobin there on the late tackle in the air. Nonetheless, equalizer, 2-2. The goals are flying in here in Chattanooga. For Zayed, another tally to his name this season. That's his 3rd. Chattanooga certainly not hanging their heads after that. They give up 2 goals and then just respond right back with one of their own. And we may have a Red Wolf substitution here. Well, we're back where we started, 57 minutes in. And maybe a moment just for everyone to collect their breath here in Chattanooga.
Leaving the pitch for Chattanooga, number 5, Leo Fola.
Leo Fola comes off. Caparelli in, so a defensive substitution. Caparelli will move right with that back line unless some other change happens, maybe moving a midfielder up. Caparelli, a very versatile player, can play multiple positions in this squad. Has appeared in all matches, but 5 starts to his name this season for the Argentine. But catch your breath, folks, if you're watching this match. As a foul is called. Two teams also that give up at or below 1 goal per game, and giving up 2, obviously, and crazy momentum swings as play away from the ball here. As Toy was down. And play will continue. Banks standing over it. And he'll give up the free kick. We'll take another look at this one. As Toy was down, and that was a good at least minute ago, where Falvey got contact to the ball. There was no call on the end of it, but Toy's still down. He's good to go, it looks like now. No trainer coming on. As Soto takes over. Now I guess the key in this match, who wants to take control of momentum? A goal by Doyle in the first few minutes of the match. 2 in just a matter of a minute for Madison, then Chattanooga the next seconds. They score to equalize. To throw everything out the door you've seen, we're equal here through 60. Moulin takes it in. Ball floated, headed away. It floats on through, Toy after it, but Walls will play it way back over to Mangles. Chattanooga has scored at least 2 goals 3 times now this season as Manly steals it back. For the Red Wolves, they've given up 2 goals twice. And now it looks like both teams just trying to feel each other out now after those momentum swings. Tobin plays it up the left flank. Nunez scored a goal before. Ziguro, he's been the key to much of the attack today for Chattanooga. Played that initial ball in from the left flank for that recent goal. And they have to feel for Silvestri. He saved a good portion of these shots today, especially the more potent ones. And Ziguro's shot from far out in the first half, and then that initial chance on that last sequence that led to the goal. But not much you could do on that second header, as he'll take it in for the goal kick. Nil-nil in both of the other matches going on in the league right now. As the ball is out for a throw-in on the far side. Ziguro met by Smart. Player of the week in League One. Walefi up with the forward. Zayed takes it in, but almost loses it on that heavy touch. One sub used by both sides. Chattanooga looking for the lead here. Sent in, but no one there at that back post. It was only Zayed in. But centrally in the box, Ziguro, second chance, ball in. But Nunez at the top of the box to take it back. Madison the other way. Through ball down the left flank, but a little bit too far. Paulo Jr. running after it, but out of play. We'll take another look at the recent sequence in the box. Beautiful cross in, but no one there. Looking for the latest USL League One news and content? Follow at USL League One on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for exclusive access and updates. Reminder, you can always check out the Goal of the Week and Save of the Week voting, along with now over a month into the season, looking at Goal of the Month and Save of the Month as well. I'm sure Save of the Week, we might see one or two on the board coming up this next week from this match. Just a thought. Caparelli staying with it, moving up the field, but stopped by Manley. Chattanooga with that press, almost getting the ball back, but Tobin after it. Tobin spending 5 years with North Carolina FC, over 139 appearances. Worked on through, and right back to Walls. So here's the change that happened for Chattanooga on that last substitution. Tony Walls, in the end, moving to that left center back spot. That's where Fola was, and he came off the pitch, so not sure if he was dealing with something. In the first half, he went down with an injury on his right leg, but he ended up playing on in that first half. Beatty stepping up here. He takes a chance from far out, but well wide left, and Silvestri will be after it. So that moves Caparelli to the wing spot, which is what he usually plays when he does start for Chattanooga. Silvestri will have the goal kick here. I guess good news for the Red Wolves after having 3 straight matches in all competitions with no goals on the board. They have 2 today. Ball over the top, and Diaz out of the back coming after this one. But offsides there, and not too surprised by that one. That far down the field past the back line. And Mangles will have the kick. This is the second straight home match that Chattanooga has given up 2 goals to their opponent, both in the second half, too. The other match, of course, Tormenta. And their near comeback late on. But you could call this a comeback, certainly, after being down 1-0 at the half for Madison. Manley stepping up right flank. He'll send the ball in, back post. That one going to sail out of play on the one hop. Mangles will take the goal kick. As he retrieves the ball. But again, it just seems like this recipe so far in League One, just that everyone's beating each other up, and then North Texas is just sailing at the top at a 5-0 record so far, 15 points. They've definitely stood out at the top. And Tormenta, of course, at 11 points entering their match tomorrow. That's a foul on the near side on Walls. And Walls on a yellow card already, someone to watch out for. So if we didn't have 4 goals already, something that would certainly add to the mess is red cards out there for sure. For Chattanooga, Tony Walls, Seguro, Beatty, all with yellow cards from that first half. J.C. Banks on the other side for Madison. He's had a booking. But now for Madison, a chance to get back at the Red Wolves. Smart will move off the ball. Nunez, he had a similar one from this angle on the opposite side of the field in the first half. Ball sent in, far side of the box, headed up by Caporelli. Now just trying to settle things out there. Manley, pressure by Soto. And now forcing Paulo Jr. to go after this one. But if Chattanooga moves quickly here, they have a chance at the break. And Paulo Jr. pretty clearly stealing the ball there. And he looks like he's going to get a booking. And he will on that one. Time wasting, certainly. And for him, first time in the book this season for the Brazilian. Was well known by MLS folk. His time from Real Salt Lake. The new Daryl Shore from his time at Miami FC. Make that the second booking of the evening for forward Madison as the night is upon us here in Chattanooga. Banks takes it in. Junior loses it to Doyle. Zayed on the run, but taken in by Almsberg. Nunez, little volley ahead. Banks clears it into the night. Manley. Caporelli. Top of the box, Paulo Jr. thought about it. He gives it off to Nunez. Cuts inside. Looks to give it off. Finally does. Manley with a run towards the edge of the box. He won't get it. Shot taken and saved by Mangles. Michon with the chance. And right into the arms of Mangles. Out of play, throwing coming. Throwing for Chattanooga, just 19 minutes left before stoppage time. As the action has cooled off a bit after that 3-goal run in this match by both teams. Stepping up is now the center back, Walls. Nunez. As Banks will bring it back through. Smart, finding the angle he likes. Continue the attack. Seguro providing pressure. Back from Diaz. Too heavy of a touch though. Going down, and a foul called against Smart. It's going to Chattanooga. Take a second look at this one. Just a few moments. Walls goes down, and a foul called against Smart on the late challenge. And now Smart will enter the referee's pocket with a yellow card. As the cards begin to pile up here with the goals in the second half. His second of the season for the Jamaican. And he's a player that Coach Hankinson has really had an eye on, coming off one of his, well, probably his best week so far with Forward Madison on the field. And also was a former player for Hankinson. He knows pretty well from his time at Indy in the NASL. And Hankinson was Coach of the Year for the NASL with Indy and Indy 11, that is, in 2016. Don Smart certainly a big part of that. 10 goals, 12 assists over his 4 years, 95 appearances with Indy 11. Now, of course, a club in USL Championship. Minnesota loses that briefly. They'll kick it out, and looks like an injury as the assistant referee tending to someone on the far side. And a good show of sportsmanship from both sides. It looks like all set to go. It's still both sides only using one substitution. So still, a lot of tactics may be to be played in this match. Walls will take it in, former St. Louis defender. And up the right flank. Doyle flicks it ahead, headed up. And it will go back to Chattanooga. And they throw in here on the near side. Zigura will take it. So much energy out of the break, and now both teams just trying to find that moment. They're playing chess out there. Ball over the top, but it'll go to Falvey, and the Chattanooga defense right back the other way. Headed on and back towards the keeper, Silvestri. Who's up, who's down, where does your club sit? Find out every Monday in the official USL League One Power Rankings, only on USLLeague1.com. And we saw in those Power Rankings, North Texas SC and also Tormenta back at the top once again of the official Power Rankings. Richmond Kickers making a move, Madison making a move. They're in the top 4 now. This through ball down the left flank. Sent in, but a bit too high, and trickling towards out of play. But Manley, here he is to save it. He'll put this back in and volleyed away. Madison keeping the ball alive, while Leffe, nice footwork there, but losing it. Almsberg comes in to settle it. Banks. And he'll work it back on through. Nunez. Top of the box. Through there to Smart, and it was a brilliant combination forming, but a little bit too heavy on the pass for Smart. As Mangle will hold things up here, and we will have another substitution. And it will be a more attacking one for Madison, as it is Paulo Jr. making way now for Japanese player Jiro Bariga Toyama, who has appeared in all matches now. He has 2 starts overall, playing about 180 minutes to this point. for his time in the MPSL most recently. Looking to add to the effort here. Maybe a final goal on the road in these final 13 minutes to steal the points from Madison. Falvey goes down against Toy. Whistle blown. He thought he had the interception. As we'll take another look. Falvey feeling the contact and going right down. Not sure there's too much there, but good awareness from the experienced defender. Ziguro cutting in. Walls. Moulin out wide. Ball sent ahead, but deflected away, and Falvey trying to handle it. He does with the high boot, knocks it back the other way. Up and out, throw in favor of Chattanooga. Looking around the scoreboard from League One, 1-1 now between Lansing Ignite and Greenville late on in that match, 80th minute. Still scoreless as FC Tucson is battling in City Stadium with the hot Richmond Kickers. Boy, Richmond, as we saw at halftime, 6-2 win in Open Cup play over Virginia United. As Madison gets the ball back here. Manley. Stretching out the Red Wolves, but they steal it right back. Soto. Covered quickly, though, by Banks. Good job by him. As Chattanooga will get it back defensively. Works it back through, and Walls will take it in to restart the attack. Oyama almost getting there. But instead, it's Chattanooga. Final third. Cross sent in, deflected away by Silvestri. He gets the save, another one today. This could be close for a corner kick. And it will be a throw-in for Chattanooga. But another great save here by the former MLS keeper. It's a point-blank block. Out of play, and have a goal kick here in the 81st. Fans follow the Chattanooga Red Wolves and the rest of USL League One all season long on ESPN+. Home to the USL, MLS, UFC, Open Cup, and much more. Join the over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN+ and watch League One live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. There's plenty of soccer action coming tomorrow as well. Tormenta and Toronto FC2 will be in action for League One on the Sunday night matchup. And then Open Cup play continues for many of these League One clubs on Tuesday and Wednesday. Foul call back to Madison. 9 minutes remaining before stoppage time. One of these teams looking to strike. So energetic after the break, but now pretty slow play since then. After those 3 goals in just a matter of minutes. How tight the pack is in the middle of the table. Be a big 3 points for either side. Smart. We'll get in under this one. Headed back down. No one there, though, for Madison. Stolen back. Nunez, left flank now. Sure thinking about it, but deflected away by Walls, and a late corner kick coming for Madison here in the 83rd. Can they make something of it? We will have a substitution first, though. We'll have to see which side this is for. Troops moving up the field for Madison. Looks like they'll wait on that as the corner kick is set to come. Smart. Sends it in there, fisted away by Mangles. Back post, there was Almsberg waiting for the header. The good stop by the keeper. Madison finds themselves with another corner here on the road, looking for the points. A brief lead, albeit probably for a minute or two in this match, before it was equalized again by Chattanooga. Ball sent by Nunez. Oh, and a heavy touch there with the ball. And certainly the trainer will be brought on for this one. Potential head injury. Manley will have a throw-in, meanwhile, on the near side. Moulin running off. The referee's still signaling for that substitution. Lost opportunity. And it's Pineda that comes on after the string of corner kicks. Referee's trying to cool tensions down. As both teams pretty frustrated on the night in these last few minutes. As it was Moulin, as you saw, coming off. And Pineda on. Spent the last 2 seasons with Orange County SC in the championship. 22-year-old, making his 5th appearance overall, but just playing about 52 minutes. Throwing on the near side for Zigura and Chattanooga as the play of the game has really hit a standstill here. 86th.
Stepping out forward, Madison, number 9, Mason Toye. Replacing him on the pitch is number 14, Brian Bement.
Brian Bement coming on, as you heard, for Toy at the top of the formation. Bement out of Waterloo, Illinois. 4 years at Loyola Chicago for his college days. And back underway, both these teams looking for that final goal. And we should, based on the last few minutes, have at least a few minutes of stoppage time. A good bit, at least. But Madison looking to take care of business now, going down edge of the box. No call, play continues. Nunez there, inside the box, the strike. Fisted away by Mangles. Cross sent in, a low one, cleared away by Walls. Play continues and out of play by Bement. Player down for the Red Wolves. As another chance goes awry for forward Madison. Trainer will come on, and after a long night, both these teams really trying to bunker in a bit. We'll take another look at this one. And it's Caparelli who came on as a sub in this match, as he's looked at by the trainer. Chattanooga, just 2 subs so far. Forward Madison, 2 of their own. excuse me, 3 now with the recent addition of D-Men. He'll limp off. Mangle's still waiting for this goal kick as we're headed into the 89th. Deadlock since that string of goals. About 15 minutes into the half. Gested on by Walls. Doyle trying to make something of it, back to Walefi. Ball falls through, but the run on the right wing halted. And out of play, throw in coming. Caparelli back on for Chattanooga. We're back even. Zayed, through ball right flank to Beatty. Deflected back into play. But it stays with Chattanooga. Pineda, back out wide. Caparelli sends it in, headed up and away by Banks. And a throw in on the far side for Caparelli. Back where we started, another throw-in. And Soto is down, meanwhile inside the box as we tick towards stoppage time. Fort Worth, Texas native, spent the last 2 seasons in Finnish 2nd division. He'll be tended to by the trainer. So Chattanooga, at least for a few moments, will be down to 10 men. And as expected, a good bit of stoppage time. 5 minutes will be on the board here in Chattanooga.
5 minutes of stoppage time.
As Soto makes his way off the pitch. As if on cue, the theme from the last few matches, Richmond Kickers with a late goal. They're up 1-0 entering stoppage time against FC Tucson. They would go even on the table with Tormenta for the 2nd spot if they hold on to that result. Chattanooga here looking for a win of their own at home.
Leaving the game
over to Walls.
Number 8, Josue Soto.
Ball sent in to the arms of Silvestri.
Cito Sione.
Meanwhile, the final sub occurring for Chattanooga. Sione, the forward on for Soto. Sione. Wide to Doyle. And a few minutes left here for the home side to get a win. The current result would keep Chattanooga undefeated at home this season. Of course, they want 2 more points than that. Walefi. Nice turn by the Brazilian. Cuts inside, looking to make it himself. The chance deflected by Almsberg. Walls takes over. They'll try the right flank, deflected out of play, and it's a goal kick in the end for Madison. And Madison at this point, maybe one final effort, but certainly after everything that's happened tonight, have to be happy with a point on the road if it does come to that. Both these teams plenty of chances in this match. They got 2 goals apiece off of it. 11-10, Madison leads in shots overall, but 8 of those 10 shots on target for Chattanooga. 80% shot on goal percentage. And the ball goes to Madison, as the referee has a word with Coach Shore. Throw in by Diaz. Nunez knocks it off. Back heel goes awry while Lefty takes it in. Chattanooga potentially a chance for the break, but Manley has a stop to it. Foul called. Madison a chance from midfield to bang this into the box if they choose to do so. With just about a minute of stoppage time remaining, unless the referee adding some there. Almsberg. Excuse me, Tobin there on the left center back spot. Tobin stepping up. But out of play, and it'll be a throw-in. Referee checking his watch. Chattanooga, one final bit of life. Foul called. Chance to take it quickly. Beatty looking to. And that'll be it. After the commotion with players not retreating, and just as weirdly as the second half has gone, it ends 2-2 between Chattanooga and Madison, as the ball is batted into the night, and both teams will have to go home with 1 point. In just a few moments, we'll be back with more coverage from the match, final stats and highlights coming up next on ESPN+.
Final score of tonight's match for Madison FC.
Welcome back into Chattanooga, Tennessee. Colin Falvey, he's your Transcard man of the match. And with a 2-2 scoreline, you don't often get to give credit to the defensive players and the keepers, but they showed pretty well on both sides overall, with some crazy bounces, some brilliance from some of these players that brought this 2-2 scoreline. But Falvey entering the lineup with some experience and getting it done there. Our Transcard man of the match, Colin Falvey, the center back in tonight's match for Chattanooga. With that, let's take a look at our highlights from tonight's match. A crazy second half for sure. It started off incredibly with Connor Doyle's goal to start things, and that's how the first 45 went. And here's the play that it happened on. Cross falling through. You think it goes out of play, but no, it's batted back in, and Doyle, the header, in there. His first start at the forward spot this season, after playing mostly as a holding midfielder or central midfielder for the Red Wolves. But being right place, right time, and not much Madison could do about it. They thought that ball was going out of play. But here, Mangles, the other keeper, way off his line, and a lucky bounce with the player covering the end line, and that's what the defender's supposed to do. But hey, sometimes it works in your favor when you put that dangerous ball in there. Up and in with Smart in the area. But that started off a string of crazy goals quickly as Nunez, off a deflection from Fola with his good stop. No one there to cover him. He comes through and strikes the ball. His second of the season. And if you didn't have enough goals in those 2 or so minutes, here's another. Ziguro, another weird hop after his service into the box from the left flank. Headed down, Silvestri, a brilliant save, but he couldn't make the second one. Zayed the header there, and he gets another to his name this season, his third. But Silvestri, one of many great saves tonight. He denied Ziguro in the first half as well. And after that, it was pretty deadlocked over there. Not too much happening. Mangles stopping a few Madison chances. They really played well as the game went on. And Silvestri, of course, with that stop laid on. But you see pretty even teams overall tonight. If I show you these stats without the scoreline, you probably would say, oh, potentially a draw. Well, indeed it was. But 8 shots on target for Chattanooga, and Madison only giving up 2 goals of it, with Silvestri entering the pipes for the first time in League One play this season. And we end at 2-2 with many chances on the board. But for Madison, you head onto the road here. You get a point out of it with just 3 more matches coming up in a week's time as you hit the road again against El Paso in Open Cup play and then return home against Fermenta next weekend. Chattanooga, though, they stay undefeated at home this season with the draw, but overall wanting some more points maybe as they head forward. But they'll take the 2-2 draw, and both teams getting their offenses going here in tonight's match. With that, I'd like to thank our entire crew here on ESPN Plus, our producer Jake McCluskey and our replay operator Derek Noraki. I'm Chris Makoviak. We'll see you next time here on ESPN Plus. Join us tomorrow night for Mother's Day action. Fermenta hosting Toronto FC2. We'll see you next time, folks.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.